Hi, I'm Peoria Mayor Kathy Carlett, and today I am happy to be joined by Supervisor Clint Hickman, who represents District 4 on the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. Supervisor Hickman is a fourth-generation Arizonan with deep roots in the West Valley and a former student of the Peoria Unified School District. He has served on the board since 2013, last year serving as chairman, helping lead the way in our fight against COVID-19. Before we jump in to talk about some of this critical work, I have to acknowledge our great partnership and some of the things the City of Peoria and Maricopa County have worked on together. Last year, we celebrated the opening of Paloma Community Park. That park has been a wonderful benefit to Maricopa County and City of Peoria residents, and we have Supervisor Hickman to thank for that. He graciously made that beautiful land available to the city so that we could put it to good use. The result of this winning partnership is all about the benefits for the residents of Peoria. We worked closely together all throughout the year on a variety of infrastructure improvements, such as the expanded bridge on Happy Valley Road over the Agua Fria River, which is now safer for pedestrians and cyclists and is a true representation of the unique artistic character of Peoria residents. If you find yourself crossing that bridge, take a moment to tip your hat to the mosaic of Peoria police officer Judd, who gave his life in the service of others. It was the County Board of Supervisors who allowed Peoria to take that bridge into our city, and the result is incredible. And I cannot talk about our partnership without mentioning Lake Pleasant Regional Park, a remarkable treasure. It sits within the boundaries of Peoria and is part of the Maricopa County Park System. Together, we work to assure safe and memorable excursions to every lake visitor throughout the year. I strongly believe that government works best when we stay laser focused on taking action that brings the most value to the residents who call our city and our county home. And I am pleased to see that we continue to do just that. Now, Supervisor Hickman, thank you for joining us today.
No, it's a pleasure to be here. My old stomping grounds,
That's
Peoria, Arizona.
Right.
Great.
That is right.
A graduate of Peoria High School. We won't say the year, but love coming back and seeing all the wonderful changes you've done with this city.
Oh, and how successful our graduates are, obviously.
I wouldn't say that, but most of us are.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Maricopa County, because Sure. It has been for the last 3 or 4 years now the fastest growing county in the entire United States. Right?
It has been a remarkable growth pattern, and you know, Maricopa County, even before this growth thing, it was on a trajectory. Then we hit the downsize in the economy, and then we've exploded again.
Mm-hmm. And Peoria is doing the same. So 180,000 or more of Maricopa County residents live in the city of Peoria.
Yeah.
So we are growing and growing too. And we work on a lot of things together closely throughout the years, always, but we have very different responsibilities, local government and county. So tell me a little bit about what are the responsibilities of the county?
Sure. Counties, this is a very large county, 4th largest in the United States, 6th largest, I believe, in miles and square footage, I guess. But the county does a whole lot. The county does a lot of things that you really don't think about. County services include, of course, our sheriff's department and law enforcement in unincorporated areas, restaurants inspections, vector control, the court system, county attorney. So usually when things aren't maybe going right for a citizen, they start becoming affected a little bit by county services, jail, courts, things like that.
Yeah, or when they maybe have a virus. So
you're bringing up what's on everybody's mind, this pandemic and pandemic response. Yeah, a very significant portion of county and growing all the time is our public health group, and they've done a fantastic job. Who would have thought, you know, once in a lifetime, well, this is the part of, I guess, in each of our lifetimes where we're dealing with a pandemic or an infection. And they have been able to grow their group accordingly, do some wonderful things. this pandemic has not offered up a playbook, and and right now we're writing that playbook for maybe future generations, and doing a fantastic job as best they can for all of our communities.
Oh, and I completely agree. You know, our citizens didn't know that local governments don't have health departments,
Yeah.
and that we need to get the guidance from the county and the state health department. But your professionals just leaped into action, really, just amazingly fast. So tell me how they did it. How did they navigate a pandemic?
I think the lucky thing for us is we had great leaders in that. It was a very small group, and they had already leaders that were already trained in both response but also emergency services and like vaccines. Your flu vaccine is usually administered or follows the guidance through Maricopa County and different counties. So that's the big topic again right now in this part of the pandemic. But they worked hard. I mean, they didn't go home. I mean, we were constantly begging them at the very start to, hey, you guys need a little bit of time off. And it's like, no, they were almost like the mother hen of this entire community, making sure we did our best to keep people safe.
Yeah, it has been incredible, really, and all of the cities have looked to them for guidance. How do we do this? How do we move forward? And so then out comes the vaccine.
Yeah.
And now everybody needs a vaccine yesterday.
Yeah.
And so the county health department needed to handle all of that, the organization of it. I mean, the administration has to be huge.
Well,
huge.
You know, Mayor, let's go back it's not even been a full year.
Yeah.
When I was made chairman in last January, I'm no longer chairman, it switches every year. I gave a chairman's address in January, and the word pandemic or COVID-19 was not even touched. That was maybe something that was going on in China at the time. We talked about other things that were going to be happening, an election, actually 3 of them during this last year alone. And so at the first start of this pandemic, they did a fantastic job of just identifying it, how it was affecting our community. Do you remember on that first March, they were talking about that one student at ASU that we were trying to quarantine?
I do remember that.
And that was the big news.
Yes.
And then it got to the point where we were talking about how to contact trace and how to investigate, because we just didn't know how this pandemic would grow. Right. And it just caught fire, and they had to learn all this time and then put certain steps in. So all of those things that occurred up to this point, which is now, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel, the vaccine, and then how to administer that appropriately for a population that wants that vaccine. The CDC tells us, you know, with the start, 75 and older, then it became 65 and older. Then it's a dose that's 2 doses, right. Not just 1, but 2 doses, and all the logistical operation went through that. Just remarkable.
And they have to be kept at a certain temperature.
The Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine, but the Pfizer especially. So, and you're asking people, don't get out of how do we try to keep social distancing, how to inoculate people from 6 feet away. Yeah. You know, we decided the best way to do it is let them sit in their own car, and that's gone on very well. Incredibly
well. I mean, and really, we cannot downplay the fact that there was a presidential election during that year.
Yeah.
And the communication, which is extremely important, that we get that communication from medical professionals and people who understand how pandemics work and spread. There was just so much rhetoric in the air about politics, which just clouded the issue.
And for our political positions, it certainly did, didn't it? I mean, the use of mask, and how did that become political? And then it did. You've always had a vaccine or anti-vaccine crowd. How does that affect our people and our staff trying to accomplish for the greater good of this community? So, unfortunately, politics seems to corrupt almost every subject anymore. Even sometimes where you're going to go to dinner at a restaurant, and how they view politics. It's very different times, isn't it?
It is so. I always say if something doesn't make sense, it must be political.
Yeah.
Always in anything that
agree.
you're viewing, anything that you're hearing. But that communication was so important to come from the Maricopa County Health Department. Clear, concise, wash your hands, wear a mask, stay distanced.
Yeah.
The entire time, from the very beginning until right now, that simple, clear message with those icons has been the one thing that we could count on throughout all of this. So I just really have to thank you. Please pass along to them how much what they have done means not only to me, to the 180,000 residents in the city of Peoria, but our entire county and even beyond.
Well, and don't take your municipality's action in this lightly. I do remember a couple phone calls we had after hours when this started, and how to view this. Your staff has consistently reached out, and yours is a municipality that asked how can we help as well, and that was extremely important to Maricopa County also. As you know, we might be a large county, but we don't have a huge government structure, and especially for something so totally new. So we needed the partnership of municipalities, and Peoria was a bright star out here for me in my district to be able to talk to your people, your fire departments, your emergency services, your police department, with the interaction with your community and doing these types of things safe. I think it is inured to the benefit of your citizens. So thank you for your leadership during this.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. And I just want to bring up that for the second time now, the county has enabled us to do vaccinations from our community center. And so we've gone from 75-year-olds to 65-year-olds, and we're able to bring those people into that environment, which is a little less unfamiliar to them. And so it's just been a real big success. So thank you for that.
I know that's been going well because I've had classmates of Central School that I went to. Their parents are now vaccinated due to your work here at the community center. So thank you. We're protecting the people quickly, as fast as we can, the ones that are most at risk, and hopefully someday, Ms. Mayor, we'll get our vaccine.
Yes.
But I'm willing to wait, and I know you are too. So thank the Lord that there's a vaccine, that we're getting to talk about something positive instead of just the how to guard yourself from it. Now we're going to have something in our bodies, I hope, that will protect us for the way future.
Yeah, really light at the end of the tunnel.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
Isn't that refreshing to say?
Yes, I'm glad we have one.
Me too. Well, so if people want more information about the county, how can they contact you?
I would suggest that they go, this is becoming old hat for me. You can just go to maricopa.gov, and there's other things if you want to go deeper into it. Our public health has a website, but you can find that. Just go to maricopa.gov and surf the internet to your heart's delight, and go down those rabbit holes of whatever information you seek.
And then come back to the facts at maricopa.gov. Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks again for your leadership.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me here today. It's just been a pleasure.
Great. Same here. Thank you.
Thank you. For the latest COVID-19 updates, please visit our website or contact Peoria's helpline for information and support. Thank you for joining us.